This clip is meant for my 6B people, which are namely Mike and Stephanie and Therese and La Brea and Marilyn Monrovia, if I can get this to you. It's also meant for anybody who's in 6A who is curious and wants to feel a little bit more challenged, but this is the material on which I'll be grading the 6B people going forward. I'm back in my den with these tile floors, and I've got my actual heavy tap shoes on that I haven't worn yet on these tile floors because, as I mentioned before, they're slick and these shoes have extra rubber on them. They have extra thick rubber, so I'm hoping that this will give me traction, and I know that they'll give me an extra loud sound for you guys. What I want to do is review the basics of paddle and roll that you learned in 6A and continue on up, overlapping, and then give you a combination to work on so that I can test you a little later on paddle and roll before I add even more complex steps to it. So let's get started. Suzanne, you can see my feet now?
Yes.
Okay, these are my Miller-Benz Sport Tap shoes, and they have a little more traction, but not much. What I want to go into first is the review of the basics of paddle and roll, starting with the paddle, which is, of course, 6A people. This is how we start the Heard It Through the Grapevine warm-up. Here it is from the side. I'm going to go down the scale now. 3s are just like 4s, but you stamp out of them. Dig, spank, stamp, dig, spank, stamp, and it's an easy change of weight back and forth. Whereas 4s go from the toe to the heel. The toe and the heel is 2s naturally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1s are simply stamped from foot to foot, or anything you want to do that just has one tap to it. Going from 1, that was 5s, the last one I was doing. 5s are dig, spank, put a heel in between the dig, spank, and the toe heel, and you've got your extra count. 1, 2, heel, step, heel. 1, 2, heel, step, heel. The important thing about 5s is that they have a slower change of weight from side to side, but you still can't hold back on the change of weight. Dig, spank, heel, step, heel. Dig, spank, heel, step, heel. And so forth. Now, we're coming into the 6, which you guys also know. It's dig, spank, heel, flap, heel. That's 2 sets of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I also taught you guys last semester the hiccup 6, which is a paddle begun halfway through and started over again. Dig, spank, toe, heel. Dig, spank, step, heel, excuse me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2. And so forth. So I believe we went back and forth on those before, and I gave you the combination that goes paddle, 6, paddle, left side. And using the 6s now, the hiccup 6s instead of the standard 6s. Hiccup 6s, and you listen to them, the accents play out in 3 pairs of 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, as opposed to 2 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, going through the very same pattern, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you go back and forth, and we did a set of those cadence, which was one side left, one side right, one side left, one side right, one side left, and we slammed out of it at the end. So now I'm going to give you a new combination. No, but first, before I do that, let's get on to sevens. I don't know if I got to sevens with the 6-beat people, but I think I gave you a hint of it. It's one more tap than a 6. 1, 2, 3, instead of full lap heel, you put a paddle in there. Shuffle step heel, which makes 7, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? After the 7s come 8, which is more natural to the body, I think, because it gives you a little more time when you put that extra heel in on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, heel step down. That's a 5. The very same 5 we looked at a few minutes ago. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we add that to the dig spank heel, which begins all of these when we, starting with the 5. It goes dig spank, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can hear the rhythm is just like 2 4s. That was 2 8s at the end. Okay. Now, once we've got everything up to 8, we can put together a combination that'll be kind of interesting and fun to do. It's going to go like this. Starting with the initial paddle and roll combination, which is very popular. Many people do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 4 4s, 2 6s, and a 4. Now we go to the other side. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for our next section, we're going to do 2 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And move right on up to 6s, which changes our rhythm from duple rhythm to triple rhythm. Instead of going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're going 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. So the taps get squozen together just a little bit more. Instead of, we have missed a tap on the left there, but that's the idea. So those come in pretty fast, so you don't want to start off too fast at the beginning of this combination. I'm going to do this from another angle so you can see how the transition goes. Here's 2 8s and then 4 6s in triple time. The 8s are in duple time, that is 2 taps per beat. Okay? 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and 8 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me start again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and 8 and a. Okay? So we've made a transition from duple time to triple time using the step that's easiest to do the triple time with. Now, we're going to move from that into the break of 7s, but still in triple time. What does that mean? It means that we do a break that has 22 taps in it. That is 7 times 3, and the 8th count will just be a slam out on the floor. But it will be achieved with 3 7s because 7 times 3 is the same as 3 times 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 2, 5, 6, 7 on the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, slam. Now, the way we're counting it is the same rhythm that we were doing with the 6s. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and 8 and a. But this is going to go using sevens in the same rhythm. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and 8 and a. The and a is left open on the end because you're finishing what looks like a pretty fancy break. Once you master the sevens and get them in sequence, and you can hear that triple time rhythm for the break, it becomes fairly simple, but it looks very fancy to the audience. Here it is on the left side. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and 8. Okay, so I'm going to do that break from the side so you can see it clearly. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and 8. And the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that will conclude that sequence, and that's what I want you to practice. Going all in a row, I hope I can get through this without slipping or sliding. Here's the whole sequence, and I'll do it slowly for you. It goes 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Left side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now sevens. Okay. Screwed up 1 or 2 taps there, but you get the idea, the shape of it. We're going to do it on the other side. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Now sixes. Right side. Now sixes. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and 8 and a 1. Okay, that's your sequence, paddle and roll from start to finish. You can go to anywhere you want in this clip to get the pieces. I hope I've made it clear for you. Good luck and happy tapping.